It's Friday. It is weather for Weather Geeks time. Welcome back, everyone. And we have got a ton to talk about today, so let's get right to it. I'm going to kind of broad brush the next 36 hours because, of course, we've got a major weather event coming our way Sunday into Sunday night. This afternoon, you're going to see a few more flurries. We are done with accumulating snow, but the wind is howling, and you got to watch for the blowing snow, recovering roadways that have been cleared. So that's something to keep in mind that some of us picked up an inch or so, or even a couple of inches worth of snow last night, and now the wind's blowing, and things can turn slick even if snow is not falling from the sky. But the flurry machine will shut down here as we go deeper into the evening with high pressure building in, and we expect a quiet day coming up tomorrow. Just cold. Wind chills tomorrow morning will not be a huge factor because there won't be much wind, but the temperature itself will be pretty close to zero as we kick off our Saturday, and then we'll see some milky sunshine ahead of our storm tomorrow. Let's talk about the storm. All right, this is coming. It is going to snow. It is going to accumulate. Don't be one of those people that is a "I'll believe it when I see it" type of don't have that attitude. For some people, there have been some storms that have disappointed this season, have not lived up to the expectations. There's also been some overperforming storms. This is a storm that's going to be a shovelable amount, a real nuisance, and probably the biggest storm of the season so far in our neck of the woods. So it is coming. Don't say it's not coming. Don't be one of those people that says I'll believe it when I see it. It is going to snow, and for some of us, it's going to snow a lot. All right, let's talk about the timetable. Sunday morning. I think as this comes in, the snow is going to be pretty light. So if you're heading off to Sunday morning services, doing anything that involves being on the road Sunday, it can get slick. The worst of the storm, though, will be later in the morning into the afternoon. So here we are at 7 a.m. Again, it'll probably be snowing already, but we're not into the worst of the storm yet. Get anything you need to get done this weekend done tomorrow if you can, but early Sunday morning would be preferable if you need to do it on Sunday, because by midday and afternoon, the snow is going to start to come down steadier and heavier. And I still think the worst of this storm is going to be late in the afternoon into the evening on Sunday. Here's Sunday evening, the center of our low over Louisville, and the mixing line may get as far north as I-70. There might be some sleet trying to mix in Columbus and Zanesville, Pittsburgh, Dayton, but once you're north of there, this is looking like mostly a snow event, and a heavy one at that. And it's really going to be coming down hot and heavy as you're watching the Super Bowl Sunday evening here on 21 WFMJ. One thing to keep in mind Sunday evening, we will not be running the school closing crawl during the game. So head to our website. I think we are probably going to run a crawl at least once during halftime. But if you're curious about school closings and delays for Monday morning, during the game, you're not going to see the crawl on the bottom of your TV. That said, while I say oftentimes I am no expert at what the school districts are going to do, I strongly suspect that most, if not all, school districts will be closed Monday morning, at the very least a lot of 2-hour delays. That's just the way it looks right now. Here's the middle of the night, Sunday night. Our low making its closest approach to the south. It's over Charleston or Morgantown, West Virginia. Again, some mixing up to I-70, but in the WFMJ viewing area, this is looking like snow. Yesterday, with a colder idea, I thought this would be more of the powdery snow, but today the storm looks a little warmer as it tracks a little farther north. So this will be kind of a wet snow, especially down towards the Route 30 corridor. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, by Monday morning, let's skip ahead here to daybreak on Monday morning, if my internet connection will catch up to me. The worst of the storm will be over with by daybreak on Monday. Here's Monday morning at 7 a.m. Our low over D.C. Heavy snow, West Virginia, central PA, heading up towards New York City. The snow will be tapering off. Yes, it will be snowing Monday morning, but the worst of it will be pushing east, allowing crews to start to catch up during the daylight hours on Monday. Blowing, drifting snow. Even though this is going to be kind of a heavy snow, there's going to be some drifting going on, I think, Monday during the first half of the day, because this will be a windy start to Monday, easterly winds. So that's something to keep in mind. So that's kind of the timing. This is going to be a good 24 hours worth of snow, starting Sunday morning, winding down Monday morning. The worst of it, Sunday afternoon, into Sunday evening, and the overnight. Now, how much are we going to talk about? All right. I'm going to show you a couple of models here. Here's the latest GFS, which is the model I just showed you. The individual numbers, especially if you're not watching this in high definition, may be a little bit hard to see. But the GFS has about 7 inches at the Youngstown Warren Airport, and amounts get higher as you go off to the south and a little lower off to the north. Now, some of this through the I-70 corridor is going to be artificially inflated by some of the mixing going on. Some of the computer models spit out, when they see sleet and freezing rain, but they count it as snow on the snow map. So these numbers might be a little artificially high down here, but still a solid 7, 8, 9 inches in much of central Ohio, perhaps even up to Route 30. Here's the Canadian model, which has a real high amount of snow across the region. All these bright pinks, you're getting up to a foot here on the Canadian model. That might be a little overdone, but it's not off the table. Here's the National Weather Service scheme of odds. Odds a certain amount of snow will accumulate. This is from this morning. I suspect this will be updated this afternoon, but I'm going to show you this morning's data. I think with their update this afternoon, they're going to shift everything north. But this morning, odds of more than 1 inch here around Youngstown, a solid 90%. More than 1 inch, that's pretty much in the bag, of course. More than 2 inches, also very high. The odds are between 80 and 90%. More than 4 inches. The odds around our viewing area, generally about 60 to 70%, more than 4 inches. More than 6 inches, this morning's odds placed our viewing area at about 40 to 50%, more than 6 inches. And again, since the idea is everything's going to be a little farther north, it looks like, you can probably jack these odds up. What I'm showing you is data that's several hours old now, but just to give you a sense as to what the odds are. So I personally think that the odds of 1 and 2 inches are about 100%. The odds of 4 inches or more are probably on the order of 80 to 90%. The odds of 6 inches or more in our viewing area are probably a good 60 to 70%. And the odds of 8 inches or more are probably somewhere in the 30 to 40% range, with higher odds in the southern part of our viewing area. Here's the SREF ensemble model. 21 different parts of this model, each one represented by a line, giving us a range of possibilities. The range is right here, these lines right here, and the range is about 4 to about 10 inches for the Youngstown Warren Airport in southeastern Trumbull County, which is where this is valid for. The range is 4 to 10. The average of all those lines is about 8. So the average ends up being close to the high end of the total range for the Youngstown Warren Airport. It's a lot of snow. Here's the snow map we put out this morning. Let me see if I can enlarge this, make it a little easier to see. This is the map we put out this morning, and I still like it for the most part. I do suspect that what we might do this afternoon is around maybe south of 224 down to Route 30, maybe kind of in this zone that catches Columbiana County, maybe southern Mahoning, heading over towards Canton, heading over towards Mansfield. We might cut out of this 5 to 9 area more like a 9 to 10. Or something, or 9 to 11, or something like that, to indicate that that's the bullseye. That's our best guess at the bullseye. If someone's going to get more than 9, it's probably going to be Mansfield to Canton to maybe Lisbon, maybe as far south as East Liverpool. So heck of a lot of snow. That's what we're thinking right now. So this is coming. This is not going to be one of those wait and see things. This is not going to be a situation where you believe it when you see it. It is going to snow, and for most of us, this will be the biggest accumulation of the winter. It'll be enough to really shut down things, across the valley Sunday into Sunday night. So prepare accordingly. Hit the store. Get your errands done. Now this, unless you live out in the country far, this isn't the kind of thing that's going to strand you for days or anything like that. This isn't Boston where they got 3 feet. But this is enough snow that it's a real big inconvenience, and you certainly don't want to be caught out. You don't want to get stuck in this on the highway or country roads or anything Sunday into Sunday night, Monday morning. So take this seriously. We don't want to scare you. We want to give you the straight dope, and the straight dope is it's going to snow, and it's going to be quite a bit, and I'm going to keep you updated on social media as new information comes in this afternoon and tonight. You can check out my forecast tonight on 21 News at 6 and 11, and we will have you covered throughout the weekend. So stay safe, prepare accordingly, and check the forecast often as we continue to make subtle tweaks. We will see you later.